So it's a snow day, so I'm making chili for camping. Step one is to ground all my turkey. I'm using turkey meat because it's leaner, less oil and fat, which means it's less likely to spoil if you don't get it cooked perfectly. So right now I added pepper, and I'm just getting this thing brown, and I'm going to get it crumbled down to the smallest crumbles as I can. So we're getting ready to prep our trays. We have 2 of the fruit roll-up ones that we like to use, but we have 4 trays, so Angela is using some parchment paper and making some liners to fit the 2 that we don't have trays for. And in the meantime, I've got this browned, and some of the chunks are still kind of big, so I'll have to go through and crumble them smaller when they're cooled off. What I'm going to do is, that is 97% lean, so it's got or 93% I believe, and 7% fat. So I'm letting the water get hot. I'm going to put it in here and strain it with the water to get all the excess fat off of it. So I know that a lot of people don't like doing this. Angela's one of them, but I'm using super hot water, and I just want to get all that, as much fat off of there as I can. I know it takes away from the flavor a little bit, but in the long run, I need this to last as long as possible. So I'm going to do this, and then besides, the chili soup that I bought already has flavor in it, so we're good. Okay, so I have all the meat on the tray, trying to get it as loosely as possible to where it's not just completely packed. You see some of it, and yes, my hands are clean. Some of these are still big chunks, but they're actually easier to crumble as they start drying in the so every time I check it, I'll go through each rack and break any big crumbles up, because they need to be smaller so they hydrate better. So anyhow, I'm going to put all that together, and then you can meet me in the garage and we'll put it on the dehydrator. Okay, so this dehydrator was $70 at Walmart. It only came with 2 trays. We bought the 2 extras, then we bought the liners for 2 of them. And then all it does is you just plug it in. There's no temperature settings. It's just always the same. So what I'm going to do is set my alarm for 3 hours, and I'll come out here and check it in 3 hours. Basically, I just have to check it, keep checking it. I'm going to start at 3 hours, and then after 3 hours, I'll check it every half an hour to 45 minutes. I'll crumble all the pieces to make them smaller until they all feel like they're completely like a dried booger is what they need to feel like. Once we get that done, we'll go into the second part of this, but I don't want to get into it until we're ready. So stick with me. Okay, it's been 2 hours, so I'm checking it, and it's already hard. Kind of crumbles, but it's still got, the bigger chunks still have kind of a meaty core that it feels like, I don't know, it's just kind of soft. It's not moist, it's just like that one feels like the inside of a chicken nugget almost, like an old chicken nugget. So I'm going to go through here and crumble them all 4 trays, so it can dry a little better. Okay, so this is how much ground turkey I was able to dehydrate off 1 package of 97%. It's super dry, has the consistency of a dry booger, and they're all pretty small chunks, and even when I break them, they're still completely dry on the inside and just crumble. So that's what you want. Now, the next step will be to divide this up into however many, I need to figure out how much grams per portion. So I'll probably get a overall weight and then do some math and figure it out. So I've only made chili this way 1 time, and I did it a little differently. I used a starter can of chili from Walmart that was like $2 or $3, and I bought a couple of different kinds of beans in cans. So basically I did 3 cans, 2 beans and 1 starter mix of chili. Stirred it all together and dried it on that fruit tray on the dehydrator, and it was a soupy mess. It worked, but it wasn't awesome. So, and it turned out good. I really liked the chili the way it came out. This time I'm doing it a little different. This time I bought Bear Creek Darn Good Chili, and this is one of the soups that they didn't have at Walmart, so I actually ordered 6 of these bags, and I think they're about $3 or $4 each, not counting shipping, but I bought 6 bags because I ordered from one company, and each bag does 8 servings. So what I'll do is I'll look on the back of here to see how many, let's see, 1/3 cup of dry is 1 serving. So I need to divvy this up into third cups. I'll put it in I always use Packit Gourmet bags because they've got the Ziploc. They're safe to put boiling water in and eat out of, so you don't get sick. And it's got the bottom that folds open. And then we also, as an extra insurance, we use her sealer to seal this to where when you rip it, then it's got the Ziploc to rehydrate. So anyhow, let's go ahead, and I'm pretty sure I have enough meat for 8 servings. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide this whole bag up into 8 servings and put each serving in its own bag. So let's do that real quick. So the best way I've found to do this is just to get whatever container you're gonna pour the stuff in, and then put it on the scale and then start it. That zeroes it out to where it doesn't count that. So we're gonna put it in grams. It's in grams. So now each one, it says right here, 1/3 cup dry, which is 35 grams. So I'm just gonna do 35 grams and then put it in a bag, 35 grams, put it in a bag 8 times. Okay, now all of them have 35 grams in them, and this stuff looks like it's got a lot of different, like at least 2 different kinds of beans and some other stuff in there. It doesn't look like a whole lot, but again, it's gonna have to rehydrate and then it'll get filled. I'm only doing the 1 serving, even though I could probably eat more than that. Sometimes if I just eat lunch, I only want 1 serving. Dinner usually 2, so I just have to remember that whenever I pack them. If I'm gonna eat that for dinner, I might bring 2. And if I only eat 1, then it's just an extra day's worth of food that I'm carrying that's not very, I'll weigh 1, but they're not very heavy. Now I'm gonna weigh this thing and see what it weighs. And this already set, I'm using the same tub, so this should give me an accurate weight. And that is 284 grams. Okay, so that was 284 altogether, and I divided by 8, because 8 right now is the secret number to make everything be 1 bag, and ended up 35, which is the same thing that's in here. So I was worried about mixing the same amount, and after consulting with Angela, I thought that we both agreed that it's better to have more meat. That way it's a meaty chili, and I'm getting more calories and protein out of it. So I'm going to split all this up into 35 grams and put them in each bag. That's my next step. Okay, so now we have them all mixed up. Not mixed, but all the hamburger is in there. Turkey burger is in with each chili. And we have 8 full packs. And by the way, I'm using the small Packit Gourmet package because it just seems like they're easier to use and there's plenty of room. The weight difference isn't much off of a medium size. I just like the small ones better. So now we're going to get ready and start sealing them. Okay, so now the secret on this thing is, see how there's a small tear spot right here? You want to seal it above that. That way it's sealed until you're ready to eat. Then when you're ready to cook it, you peel this and it takes the seal off, and then you just use the Ziploc. The first couple times I did this, I didn't pay attention to that, and I have to use my knife to cut that on the trail, and that's not fun. Anytime you don't have to use a knife, you shouldn't. So I'm going to seal this. I'm going to try it. Okay, now that they're all sealed, I want to see what they weigh individually. 78 grams. 2.8 ounces. So that's just one way to do it. I tend to try to make it easy. I mean, this whole process, it took me like 20 minutes to brown the meat. You know, just pour hot water on it to get all the extra oil off of it, and then it took about 4.5 hours or 5 hours on our dehydrator to get the crumbles consistent to how I wanted them. And then this whole process has taken less than half an hour to divide up the soups and mix it, seal it, weigh it, all that. So it's pretty cheap. One of those bags of chili, darn good chili mix was, I'm gonna say $3 or $4, probably maybe $5 after shipping, but I mean I bought 6 of them, so I still have 5 more bags, which is 40 more servings. So it's just a matter of when I have the money to buy more meat. After I test this, I'll see if it needs different seasoning, but super cheap. And now I've got, 8 servings of food right now ready to go. If I had more time and money, I would do a double batch, but I'm thinking about switching over to apples now because we have some apples that need to be done. And yeah, we when apples start getting bad, it's time to dehydrate. So I'm thinking about doing that now. Anyhow, give me some thoughts what you think about this. This isn't going to be like gourmet. It's not going to be like Texas State chili from Packit Gourmet, but it's going to be delicious. It's going to be filling, and it's going to have enough nutrients to get me down the trail again. So, you know, I think I'm ahead by doing this. If you learned something, throw a like on there. If you liked the video, throw a like, and I'll try to do some more of these.